Hey guys, it's Tia Codes here, simplifying code for you. Today, very quick, simple video on how to create a React app using Vite or Vite. If someone knows how to say Vite or Vite, do let me know in the comments. Okay, so the first thing I want to mention is if you're using Vite or Vite, you need Node.js to be installed. So just go to nodejs.org/English if you speak English. Fantastic. And I'll show you how to check that you've successfully installed Node.js in 1 second. But I just want to mention that Create React App, if you're watching any kind of out-of-date tutorials, you'll notice that Create React App is usually mentioned, but I just want to mention that it is deprecated. So you can see they sunsetted it in February this year. But one really key thing is when you're looking at dev docs, so this is the Create React App dev docs, you'll see that it was last updated in 2022. So obviously sunsetted, please steer clear of that one. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm actually just going to minimize VS Code for now. So I'm actually going to start a terminal just using Spotlight. So I'm just going to, in a Mac, I'm just going to go terminal, and this means that I'm just using a terminal in my desktop. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is just check that Node.js was installed correctly. And what we want to know now is we're not trying to use Node, we want to use Node Package Manager, which is installed with Node.js or vicariously through Node.js. So the command line for that is npm-v, and I'm not going to teach you any long form, this is all the shortcuts today. So npm-v, you can see that I've got npm or Node Package Manager installed, and that's going to install our Node modules for us in our React app. Another thing I just want to mention here is you can go npm update, and that just updates your Node Package Manager to the most recent version. Okay, so now we're going to create our React app using Vite. So I'm just going to reopen Google Chrome, and what we're going to do is we're going to look for Vite. Okay, so you'll see it says next generation front end tooling, and very, very simple here. You're just going to go to the dev docs and you're going to copy this. And the reason that I would actually use the copied function that they give, I just want to explain the notation here. So the $sign just means it's kind of terminology for put this in the terminal. Like this is a command in the terminal. If you paste like this and include the $sign, it won't work. I might just show you for testing purposes. Okay, command not found. And I think that's probably a real key thing for me at this stage. If you make errors, it's not that serious, just go again. So terminal can be quite annoying, by the way. You cannot like click on a certain character and delete it. So just wanted to mention that. So I'm actually just going back to the Vite website and copying that. And then that simple command is basically going to run everything for us. So let's call it Tia Codes Project YouTube. Perfection. Now we're going to go package name, and you do need to type this out. So I'm just going to go Tia Codes. And today I want to dev in React, and I've actually been dabbling in a bit of TypeScript. So sorry, I went very quickly, but you just use the up and down arrow keys and click enter. Okay, so now you can see that the terminal is telling me to cd into or change my directory from my desktop into the project folder itself. And then it's telling me I'm going to run npm install and npm run dev, which is going to give us our dev environment. Okay, so I'm actually just going to look for that folder in my Spotlight. I'll just paste it here for testing purposes. And now we're going to open up VS Code and do a bit of finagling in there. I'll get our our dev server up and running. Okay, so we're just going to drop our folder in VS Code. Alrighty, and I'll just explain very quickly what you're seeing here. So you're seeing the React app has been built in your JSON config file. See this TypeScript config file. You're going to see the path that it's generating for us as references. Probably not much to mention there for now. The package.json file is kind of like the bugbear to everything. But to open up the terminal in VS Code, you've got two options. You can just go terminal in and go new terminal, or you can go control backtick. So now what we're going to do is we're going to install the Node Package Manager module folder. So we're going to go npm install. And while that thinks, what else do I have to mention to you? Okay, so next we're going to run the dev server, right? And a key thing to mention here, if you've been a beginner like me and you've been coding in HTML CSS and JavaScript, or even another front-end client language, and you're using Go Live, it's not going to work anymore, because we remember JavaScript, TypeScript, they are client-side languages or server-side languages that we're just translating, or we're doing client-side code in. So that's why we need to go npm run dev. So you'll see our node modules folder has been installed here. Fantastic. Okay, now we're going to run our dev server. So we're just going npm run dev. Is that right? Yeah. Perfect. And now you're going to see localhost this URL. And basically what you want to do is just paste that into Google Chrome or whatever browser you're using, and this will give you your dev server. So I'm very zoomed in here. One other thing on the dev server I just wanted to show you. So I'm going back to VS Code. For example, if I bin this terminal and then I make a change in, okay, let's just, for testing purposes, do it in our index.html file. And I'm just going to name the title true to your code. So this is what you're going to see in the tab bar, and I click Control S. If I now go back to VS Code, you'll see, to the browser, you'll see that the changes haven't been aggregated, and that is because I binned that terminal. So what we need to do is open our terminal back up again. So I'm going to go Control Backtick, and I'm actually going to go npm run dev. Okay, and you'll see that we're still at localhost 5173. So if you've got multiple projects that open at once, you might have some issues here, but you can see now we've got it updated as to your code. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. But I hope this has been helpful, guys. Just a quick little tidbit on how to create a React app using Vite. So all the best, and see you in the next video.